What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Natalie. Welcome back to another fabulous life of Natalie. In this video, it's going to be an introduction video or a getting to know me video. I'm well aware that I had a Q&A. A Q&A was where all of my followers on Instagram asked me a variety of questions or had a lot of assumptions about me, and I covered it. If you haven't watched the video and you're new here, make sure you stroll up and see my video. So definitely, check that out. Also, speaking of Instagram, if you guys haven't followed me, I have the link here, or it might be over here. It's going to be somewhere around here. So if you haven't followed me, definitely do that. I'll also link it in the description. All right, first things first. I'm in my car, as you can tell. I was going to do it inside the house, but it was just a rainy day. I came in the car because I felt like, okay, let me get some natural sunlight going on. But it also reminded me of one of the number one questions I get asked is, where am I from? Where's my parents? Where are my parents? What are my parents? Not where, if my parents. That doesn't make any sense. But what are my parents? What is my nationality? What is my race? A lot of people assume that I'm Puerto Rican. When I was in Kentucky, people thought I was Puerto Rican, but since I moved to South Florida, a lot of people are thinking or assuming that I'm Dominican, but none of these answers are true. Not to have any, disrespect to any of these answers. It's just that, I feel like you should be proud of your race. You should be proud of your heritage, right? So for me, I am African American. As far as I know, I am trying to do or thinking about doing the ancestry test. So I'm trying to do the ancestry test. So once I do that, I'll definitely link you guys what I am. A lot of people think I'm Asian. A lot of people ask me if I'm Asian. A lot of people used to say I was Black and Asian or assume that I was. So unfortunately, no, I'm none of those. So I am African American as far as I can tell. Something else about me, I'm 36 years old. A lot of people don't think I'm that old. A lot of people think I'm younger. I'll take all of it, right? I'll take absolutely. Guys are gonna act like that didn't just happen, but I have a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I remember a couple years back when my 16-year-old was probably like 12 or 13, I took her to an after-school function, went to go pick her up, and the people around was like, "Oh, this is your sister? Oh, y'all are cute." I'm like, that's the daughter. I'm the mama, right? So a lot of people don't believe I have a 16-year-old. I remember one day at work, a lady was like, "Oh, you have a 16-year-old? Oh my God." I don't even know where she was going with this, but she was saying like, or insinuating that something happened to me, like I was raped or molested or had a child at a young age, even though, 18 is still pretty young. I was just like, no, girl, like this was not planned, but this is what it is, this is what it is, So, that's another thing I get is a lot of people don't think that I'm as old as I am, which I'll take it. I'll take all of it because I rather look, like I said, I rather look younger any day over looking older. Other thing I can share with you guys is where I work. I work at Amazon, right? I was not going to tell you guys that because I wasn't sure if I could say it or not. You know how Jeff Bezos be. You know how Jeff Bezos be. But I've been at Amazon for almost 3 years now. I will shine a little bit of light of what it's like to work there. I'm sure everybody's heard crazy stories. I heard crazy stories before I started. But one of the crazy stories I heard was just that it was horrible, blah, 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 blah. Don't get me wrong, it's not horrible, but it's okay. But I think it goes by your mental mind frame. All right, so when I first started, I wound up working the Thursday, Friday, Saturday shift. It's called the RT shift. And I worked 12 hours a day. I don't know how I did it, but now I'm no longer on that shift. Now I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all 10 hours. Typically, I'll pick up Thursday for voluntarily overtime where I volunteer to go in. And that's 50 hours a week. I don't know how I do it, especially like I said, I have kids, I have a husband. It's hard, but the money for me is good. I have insurance. Amazon has one of the best insurance. I'm a big teeth junkie, so I have dental insurance. I have a dentist appointment Thursday, by the way. And so back to the story, I feel like when I first started, it was horrible, dude. I like to wear nice shoes, comfortable shoes. And I wore nice, comfortable shoes because just like you, I've heard the crazy stories of how, you know, you walk all night, whatever. So the department I started in when I first started was called the pick department. And you would literally have to walk. I usually map my watch. I have an Apple Watch and I usually track my steps. So I usually walk, when I first started, around 12 miles to 14 miles a night. But this facility was a non-robotic facility. I am now currently at a robotic facility, and it's night and day difference because at a non-robotic facility, when you pick, you have a picture your grocery cart and walking around all hours of the night, like literally just like you're grocery shopping. You know what aisle you're going to go to, you know what bin you're going to pick from, you know what item you're going to get. So picture doing that all hours of the night. So when I first started in my what I thought was comfortable shoes, which was Nike Air Forces, that's not it when it comes to picking in a non-robotic facility. But I remember I had on the low-cut ballerina socks, and I remember my feet like throbbing. I remember like taking my shoe off day one when they split you up, because you started in like a group session on learning how to do, you know, the department. When I split up, I was like, oh my God, I remember peeling my sock off. I remember having blisters, taking my shoe off, like, oh my God, bruh, I don't know if I'm cut out for this stuff, man. I don't know if I'm cut out for this. But a robotic facility, which I learned now since I've, you know, moved out of state, is that they'll stand on a ladder and literally a robot comes to them, and I guess it guides them in how to pick the items. When I first seen that, I was just like, what? Like, how is this possible, dude? Why was I walking as long as I have when you guys were just climbing up a ladder, grabbing an item and putting it in the bin? So also at my old facility, there was 4 floors. It would tell you when to drop your tote off, or, you know, the last item to put in the tote, and it would direct you to either go up the stairs or down the stairs. So that was horrible compared to where I'm at now. Also, I remember when I first starting to get a little hot, guys, trying to be cute, doing a little video in my car, and it's starting to pay off. But I also remember when I first started, I would go by my locker and I would see new hires come in. And since this is where I'm originally from, I would see people I would know. I would see people I remember going to school with that I might not have known. And they would bring them in the groups, like I said. And little by little during peak, which is the busiest time of the year for Amazon, that's when you have to work mandatory 5 hours. But little by little, I would see the group like, so I was like, oh, dang, that's all they got in the group now, you know, like. Yeah, so it's not made for everybody, but what motivated me to stay in with them especially is because, like I said, overtime money's good. You get maybe time and a half for doing overtime, but what motivated me staying with them is that I had promised my kids that I was going to take them to New York, and like I said, that's what I did. I took them to New York. But what motivated me, because 12 hours, I've never worked that long my whole entire life at neither job I've been at. But what motivated me is that I'd be like, okay, you know, it's 6:30. That's what time shift starts. At that time, shift ended at 7 for me. Now I work 6:30 to 5 with the 10-hour shifts. But when that shift started, I would be like, okay, it's 6:30. Dang, like 7:30, come on, 7:30. Here comes 7:30. 8:30, come on, 8:30. Here comes 8:30. And I would do that until I left at 7, and boom, it seemed like that's what I had to do, dude. That's what I had to do to survive. But yeah, I mean, it's not a horrible company for me, but like I said, I have a different mindset. Like I can honestly see why the group diminished and people would leave, because it's crazy conditions, dude. Like, it's 12 hours. It's 24 hours in a day, and half my day you're telling me I'm going to be at Amazon. Come on, bruh. But yeah, and else, another question or some more information to give to you, introduction. This isn't really falling into the place, but there is a James Johnson. I feel like a teacher on an intercom, but there's a James Johnson who's commented on all of my videos, right? And asked me, if you guys have seen it, what is my waist and hip size? James, I literally tried to do it, but I don't know. This is for sewing, a sewing kit. And I think it went up to 25 inches. I'm not sure. It did. But my hips are past 25 inches. My waist is above my hips. So that's, my waist, I'm assuming, is more than 25. I want to say, honestly, it's up to 27 for my waist. But even though it didn't give me that estimate, I'm assuming. I used my thumb and I'm like, okay, this is about 2 inches more than the 25. That's for my waist. For my hips, it was a lot above 27. So I don't know if that helps you. If you stay continued, James, let me know if you get this video. If you stay continued, James, I will go another round of trying to make sure I find the measurements. But this was not it. All right, what else I got for you guys? I'm a nut, man. I swear I'm a nut. All right, married life, right? How did I meet my husband? A lot of people ask me if I'm married in my inbox. I am happily married. I met my husband about 12 years ago. We've been married for 10 years. So I had managed at McDonald's. I managed McDonald's for 12 years, guys. That is up for discussion for another video. But of all the crazy things I went through. But I worked with his mom, and I remember one day he came in and I don't know what he was saying, because like I told you guys, he's Cuban, and he was trying to talk to me and another girl there, and I was like, no. You know, I'm a Leo. Leo's got to be the only woman. So I was like, no, that's not cool. So then he came back up and was like, I want to know if I can have your number. He has a Spanish accent. Guys, for me, I love a guy with an accent. I don't know what it is, but that's my thing. But anywho, I understand people are going to be different. People are going to disagree. But that's my thing. So I had told him, like, you want my number? I was working third shift. Coincidentally, I'm still working third shift. And he was like, yeah, I want your number. And I was like, you think I'm just going to give it to you? And I was managing McDonald's, you know, doing my thing. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, you're going to have to buy me flowers. You're going to have to take me on a date or something. You ain't just going to come up here in the middle of the night and ask for my number. Well, I never thought that, honestly, me saying that he would bring flowers up that night. So there's a Kroger where I'm at. I don't know if you guys have a Kroger. There's not a Kroger down here in Tampa, but he had went in the middle of the night. This is obviously way before COVID, because now it's a struggle for the third shift world. But he had went in the middle of the night to a Kroger and got like this gold crusted rose, like. And I remember I was just so mean to him, and I was just like, bruh, like, he would call me on the phone, and I said, thank you for the rose, for one. Let me make sure I show you guys have a little bit of a manners. I said, thank you for the rose. And I remember he would call me on the phone, and I'm like, oh my God, this is probably gonna be a complete waste of time, because his accent was so heavy. And I'm like, dude, do you even speak English, bruh? And he's like, yeah, I speak English. And so I don't know, something about him, like, obviously it was a rocky road at first, but something about him, like, and I still feel it to this day, like, to me, he's the one for me. I don't know how I realized he was the one. I never took him on little tests besides the rose thing, but I just felt like, oh my God, this guy is just so sweet. He had a lot of the features that reminded me of my dad. Like, I love a manly man, and he knew how to fix things. I wish I had him when my lock messed up, because he's not crazy. He would have changed my lock. If you haven't seen that video, check out the video of when I got stalked. But I just love everything about him. He's a good cook. He's a good dad. He's a good listener. Like I said, he did not start off first like this. Like, I had to voice to him the things that I liked, what I was interested in. But I felt like, eventually, like, he's just the one for me. Like, honestly, I could not picture myself with anybody else. Like I said, he's a good dad. He's a good cook. Like, on my off days, he'll cook dinner. He's an amazing cook. I cook too, but he's an amazing cook, and he's just perfect for me. I don't know. Can't really explain it. I can't really explain it, because a lot of people be like, well, how did you know he was the one? He wasn't the one at first, because we used to argue and stuff all the time, but that's another story for another different day. We didn't argue all the time. I just felt like he didn't take the time to be attentive, didn't take the time to listen to my wants and my needs. But once we finally had a conversation over it, brought him up to speed, he eventually got right. I don't know. I think that's the best way of explaining it. Voice your wants and needs, ladies, because I think I've explained it before or talked about it before. Like, in my opinion, I think a lot of guys will just play games to get what they want, but you have to eventually, like, tell them what you want. And if they run off from what you tell them, don't get me wrong, some guys will fake it till they can make it. I watched the show today talking about it, how a man will fake it to get what he wants, and it's happened to me before. It's in my last video I posted. So definitely, keep an eye out for that. But also, like I said, like, he's just perfect for me. I don't know. Couldn't imagine myself with anybody else. Couldn't imagine myself growing with anybody else. Because 10 years ago, your girl turned up. I was like, run up, get done up, right? Run up, get done up. But now I'm more calm and cool, and I feel like we're just on the same path. So, I don't know about my Leo friends. I know I'm in Leo chats on Facebook. A lot of people are like, well, what is a good sign for Leo? He's a Gemini. So, air sign. I'm a fire sign. That's supposed to be really good. They're bipolar as all get out. But that's something I got for you guys. All right, guys, the last thing I'm going to leave you with is, what is it like to be a parent? I have a teenager, like I said. Me and my daughters, I have 2 kids, 2 daughters. One's 16, like I said, one's 10. We have a really good connection. I feel like my kids tell me everything. It wasn't like that in the beginning, but I feel like you have to, as a parent, not automatically get angry. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I feel like if you approach a situation and you always get angry, they're not going to want to tell you anything. Let's say, this better not have happened, but let's knock on wood and say, if my daughter came to me and was like, Mom, I had sex for the first time, let's say she's 16. I can't automatically get angry, because if you get automatically angry, you're going to make it uncomfortable in the future for them to want to share with you any information. You want to be your child's friend, but not just focus on friendship. I feel like when you're a parent, you have to be all, whoop. They catch me slipping, guys. They're catching me slipping. When you, we're going to act like that didn't happen. When you're a parent, you got to be all aspects. You can't just focus on being a friend. If you focus on being a friend, you're going to let a lot of things slide. Like, let's say your friend, right? They ask you if they're fat. You as a friend, you're going to say, no, you're not fat. Let's say they are fat. Let's say they're gaining weight. Let's say they ask you if they're gaining weight. You as a friend are not going to want to hurt your friend's feelings. You're going to only want to focus on being a friend. So I feel like being a parent, you should focus on being a role model. You should focus on being a friend. You should focus on being a advisor. You should focus on being a counselor. That's all of those things wrapped into one. So if my daughter came at me, hopefully this will never happen, ever. But if she ever came at me and was like, I'm pregnant or I had sex, I feel like I just can't get mad. As much as I want to get mad, I'm also going to want more information in the future, right? If she wants to share more information with me being mad every time she tells me something is going to make it where she doesn't want to warm up and tell you anything. So that is the only advice I have for you as a parent or a parent as a teenager, is to make sure you keep a good relationship. Make sure you don't overreact, because in the future, they're not going to want to share anything with you. Think about it. Every time you told someone something, they overreact. Would that motivate you to, I did not have to do overreact like that, but would that motivate you to want to share more information with that person? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't motivate me to be like, okay, like every time I tell them something that's going on, they get mad, they react, I'm not going to share this information with them. That's how I would react. So that's one thing I've learned as being a parent, is calm down, stop reacting, start listening. And I think that's all I got for you today. Thank you for tuning in, guys. We have made it to 8 800 subscribers. I am so excited to get to 800 subscribers. I know there's plenty of YouTubers with more, but I am satisfied with 800 for now because I want to grow my base, guys. I want to continue sharing content with you. And like I said, 800 for me is quite a accomplishment because when I decided I wanted to do YouTube 10 years ago, but then I was like, and my schedule now is just like, so to have 800 subscribers and have someone or you guys to continue watch my content, it motivates me and inspires me to shoot for higher subscribers, higher goals. So I want to thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart for allowing my dreams to come true. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I really do. I hope you like this video. I hope you like the previous videos. If you haven't watched them, please check them out. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And that will let me know that you guys are liking the content that I'm bringing to you. Until next time, I'll see you guys next time.